But for me, our culture is really important in our business, and allowing our employees and our colleagues the flexibility for being able to work from home versus being in the office, and really starting to I guess embed that culture and make people feel as if they had a choice was really important. And we had to look at something like RingCentral to be able to do that. Also, as Chris, in terms of the technical components, we were keen to really look at a partner who could be innovative. So really start to understand, some of the sort of the AI aspects around sentiment analysis. That was really important to us. Then looking at how we could sort of start to, do more by way of virtual meetings, and make sure that we can maintain that engagement with both our clients and our colleagues. So those two things were really paramount in our search and our quest for a new partner.
I think from the service team perspective, it had to be something that's quite intuitive, so that it was something they could quickly pick up and use. Like Chris said, as a mobile client, more so because 70-80% of the service team are mobile, so it had to be something that we could train easily, and that they found that it was easy to use, and therefore they embraced the new system faster from our purposes, and it didn't need as much support as other systems may have needed. So that was one of the key factors with any system we looked at, was that it was that usability straight out of the box, is something that we knew the service team could get a handle on quite quickly.
We empowered the teams, so it was a lot of train the trainer and take each team on that journey together, so they felt connected to the solution. So everyone kind of was bought into why we were doing it, the benefits, and I think they really took it on board. So from my perspective, it was handled very well in terms of the rollout, and he left people empowered.
I think it was made easier because there've been a number of, outage issues and issues with our previous provider, and because of that, everybody in the teams were keen to make sure that they had something that made their lives easier almost. And what the last thing that we want in the industry that we're in is clients that are upset anyway or have got some challenges themselves that they're calling in for, to then have it exacerbated by the technology that we provide. So and our colleagues as well, to sort of be frustrated with the technology. So now they're very open. They're in a much better place in terms of answering the calls and speaking to clients, just because the technology makes their life a lot easier. So that's key. So we use extensively, obviously, the call recording aspects. We also use the sort of contact center capability within our service functions to make sure that we're routing the right calls to the right individuals. I think very recently with the global pandemic of COVID, something that's really been leveraged more than it had before is the use of virtual meetings and video calls and video conferencing. We had decided that we were going to roll RingCentral into our service functions, and our sales teams typically just used a mobile phone, the guys that were out on the road, and obviously with us not being able to make face-to-face visits anymore, we very quickly onboarded those guys onto RingCentral, and being able to use again the phone capability, and demonstrated how we could manage face-to-face appointments for prospects very quickly, and sort of continue the kind of the sales engine almost. So that's something that we've leveraged extensively. We've done some work around some of the sentiment analysis. We had some initial look and some feedback around some of that, and just by the nature of the industry that we're in, it's presented some interesting challenges and threw up some interesting results. So things like "I'm so sorry to hear that" was often seen as negative, whereas the industry we're in, "sorry to hear that's" something we probably say quite a lot. So we saw some interesting results there. But more recently, we've started to look at how we can access the APIs, so how we can access the data that sits behind, and almost create calls and create video calls from other pieces of software. So we're keen to look at how we embed that within our client platform to give our clients a better experience and better engagement with us. So we've started to look at, to implement and look at a number of different things. And then more recently around the virtual exhibitions and trade centres, again, sort of off the back of the COVID pandemic, and how we give a better experience in terms of those webinars as well. So we've used quite a range, I think, quite a broad range of the RingCentral products over the last 18 months or so. I think some of the technology decisions we've made over the last 2.5 years, focusing on things like cloud native applications, cloud applications, and given the flexibility for working anywhere really remotely, there's absolutely stood us in really good stead. I've been on calls with sort of other leaders in the technology space and other businesses, and they found it quite difficult in some areas to pivot in the way with the speed that we did, and it was down to technology decisions that myself, Chris, and the team have made over that time, and it really has helped us. And I think it's demonstrated that I guess some of the investment that we've made, and I guess the investment that we've made alongside sort of our culture and our people has really borne fruit, and everyone was on board with being able to kind of just flip to that home working, and it's worked really well for us, and it's something that we'll absolutely continue. I think, like Lee said, clients are now more willing to take more digitized and technology solutions, and that can only work well for us. And we've got loads of thoughts around things that we can do in the future from an innovation perspective in the service space.
For my world, getting everybody mobile and working from home, not only do we have to provide laptops for everybody, which meant they were flexible, they could move around. We didn't have to worry about desktops anymore. With the RingCentral platform as well, I just knew I had a solution which just worked, and people could get on really quickly and just start making calls, start going to meetings. I didn't have to worry about rolling out another solution or providing a handset and all that kind of stuff that goes around with remote working. So for me, it was a case of get them on a laptop, get them home, they're on RingCentral, they're on the meetings, we can just hit the ground running. And I can praise to Ben, who's our TAM, who's helped tremendously in the back end to get this up and running as well. Without him and the team, it wouldn't have been possible to get it done so quickly. So I think that's helped tremendously. The relationship again has been brilliant, and to get us into where we are now. So yeah, I think the bottom line is just a great product to use, and it just helped us tremendously.
We have an expectation that we will continue to use RingCentral Video for a significant proportion of our inspections. We also think that it gives us a better customer service because we can now do things by video that we couldn't do before. And so, if a client has an issue, say like, God forbid, that a client has an accident or an incident, well, we can use RingCentral Video to look at it quite quickly now, and therefore be very efficient in dealing with the issue for the client. It helps the client. It also helps us because rather than having a consultant travel an hour to a site, then do an hour on site and an hour back, they can just do the hour in the middle, but do by video. The fact that we have something that we can record on also means that we can share that back with the client at a later point. It can help with clients in terms of any litigation they may have later, because we'll have a live video of the incident. So all that's great, and it helps our client base. So yes, our intention is that we can carry on. We're working on the principle now that from a human resources perspective, we may be virtually 100% remote going forward.
I think in terms of, I guess, more widely field service generally, my take on it is that people are starting to like the no personal contact. They're starting to make people feel safe, and I think that's something that will continue, even if it's contact someone, say we're on our way, or get in touch, say we're on our way, so they can be out of the premises or whatever that may look like as well. So I think moving forward we'll see a lot. I think that the view will be a lot less personal contact or no personal contact. So we just want to make sure that technology that we have allows Lee and his team and the guys to be able to do that.